Hello everyone. First of all, I want to thank you all for watching this video, clicking the link, and I really appreciate all the likes, shares, views, everything. I truly do. Thank you so much. I also want to thank you because if you're watching this video, you probably have heard about Little Boy and you're trying to decide if you want to go see it or not, and you're watching this video to get a little bit of an insider opinion about whether or not you should go see it, get some extra views, a little bit of the inside scoop. In my opinion, you should go see this movie. As a matter of fact, that's why I'm doing this video. I normally write for Catholic 365, and I had a beautifully long review praising this movie, and it's not going to be published for 2 or 3 weeks, by which time the movie may be out of theaters. People need to be seeing this movie right now. If you're thinking about going and seeing it, watch this review, go see the movie. And I appreciate your patience as you bear with me. I'm clicking between pages of my notes and other stuff, so I'm trying to do a good job with this. And if I butcher any names, if I mess something up, let me know in the comments, but please be nice. I'm really trying hard to get this stuff right. So enough about that. Little Boy. Little Boy was directed by Alejandro Monteverde. You might know him from the 2010-2011 movie Bella. Bella is a pro-life movie. Alejandro Monteverde is a very devout, professing Christian. I believe he's Catholic, which is interesting, and I'll get on that later. So he's directing and writing this movie, Little Boy. Little Boy is a World War II drama set in a coastal town in California. I also want to point out the fact that this movie was backed by Ramona Downey and Mark Burnett. They're the people that did the Bible and the Son of God. I was really impressed by the fact that they're backing this movie because, I'll tell you why. I heard about it. I was expecting a Kirkwood Brothers production. So, Facing the Giants, Fireproof, Courageous, those kind of movies. I was expecting something like that. The fact that Ramona Downey and Mark Burnett are backing Little Boy puts it in a different category, and that pays off. This movie is not a Kirkwood Brothers production. It is almost on par, I would say, with One Night with the King in terms of production value and writing, directing, all kinds of stuff. So, as far as the movie goes, the plot centers around 8-year-old Pepper. He lives with his mother and father in a coastal town in California. I believe his older brother, London, also lives with them. At this time in the World War II, America has just gone into battle with Japan, and one man from every family in the United States has to go fight in the Pacific arena. Now, Pepper's brother London feels it's his responsibility since he's the younger man and he's more capable, but he is rejected from his application into the army, and therefore London and Pepper's father must go instead. This devastates Pepper. He's kind of a runt in the town, and people make fun of him, but the only person who doesn't is his father, and his father fills him with encouragement and respect and teaches him all kinds of things, and they're best friends. And when his father leaves, it totally crushes him. So Pepper decides he's going to bring his dad back. And how does he do that? Well, he's sitting in Mass, and the homily happens to be on Parable of the Mustard Seed. The verse, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, go jump in the sea, and the mountain will go and do it. That translates into the modern idiom, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. The impossible will become possible. And that's kind of the theme of this movie. So the rest of it is just Pepper trying to grow his faith to bring his dad back. And if you're cynical at all, like me, you're sitting there going, well, I know this plot. Why should I go see this movie? I know how it's going to end. Mostly because it doesn't end the way you expect it to. That blew my mind. So that's its own. We're going to put that in a box and tuck that away until you go see it. Other than that, you're kind of right. It is a very simple story. But it's told so well, you don't even care. At least I didn't. I should probably start correcting my grammar right now when I'm talking about this. It is very simply told, but in my mind, that works to the movie's favor. The main character is an 8-year-old child, and children, they're not dumb, but they do see the world a lot more simply than adults do. So everything is told from his perspective. I really liked how the music reflected this. You know, when you're a little kid, you've kind of got your own little soundtrack going on in the back of your brain. And when you're facing things, it changes and it goes and it does. Well, that's kind of how it is in the movie. When Pepper's facing the bullies, you hear the strings going da, and then chaos ensues. And at first I thought that was really campy until a couple minutes after one of those scenes when some real bad news happened, and it was really quiet. There wasn't any music. And I was sitting there going, like, why are they doing that? Well, it's real life. In real life, that soundtrack kind of stops when you're faced with something that you don't know. When life throws you a curveball, your soundtrack stops. And I thought that was really clever because, okay, maybe I'm the only person that does that or did that as a kid, but that just made me think of how I was when I was a kid. And so I'm watching this movie, and the storytelling in conjunction with the music, it's very powerful when you put the two together, and it really creates this atmosphere that, yes, it's simple, but it's very childlike. Not childish, but childlike. And that brings a whole new level of depth and wonder and just richness to this very simple story. Going on, Pepper's played by, I believe his name is Jakob Salvati. I'm probably butchering that. I'm so sorry. Correct me in the comments. But Jakob Salvati sells this role. Normally, child actors are somewhere between you're bad, but you're a kid, so we can't be mad at you, and please shut up, you're whiny. Just stop. Very few fall in between, and the ones that do, we love and adore. This kid falls right in between. There is not a minute on the screen where I feel like he's not a real kid. He's not bad. He's not whiny. He's just a real kid trying to do real kid things, or he's trying to do what a kid would do in these circumstances. There was one instance where he's doing his penance, and the nun says something to him, and he just kind of looks up at her, and he's in Latin. And it's just that moment you hear when he says that there's intimidation and hesitation, and he's not trying to complain, but you know that feeling. And this kid does those things so well. He's just a very likable, real character all the way through. He's played very well. Jakob Salvati does an amazing job at playing this kid to the point that I legitimately feel sorry for him. And when he's excited, I'm excited. And when he's crying, I'm crying. I'm the girl that doesn't cry in the movie theaters. I'm rooting for the iceberg in Titanic. I'm, chucking popcorn at the screen in The Notebook. Gone with the Wind, I'm just gone. I cried with this kid, and that never happens for me. So that was really powerful for me. Another movie I saw recently that did this very well is Catch. Catch is a short film directed by David Henrie. If I've not mentioned it already, I probably should be upfront and honest right now. I really went to see this movie pretty much just to see a 20-foot David Henrie face in front of me for portions of the movie. I got that. I honestly thought he would just be reprising his role as Justin Russo from Wizards of Waverly Place, and that was fine by me. I liked him in that. I've liked him in other things, but he kind of, plays that squeaky clean, good kid kind of role in most of what he does, or most of what I've seen him in. Maybe he does other stuff too. He definitely does in this movie. And it's very unsettling to go from, oh, this is my celebrity crush, to I want to slap you. Like, just all throughout the movie, he plays this bad character that I just want to slap him. And at the same time, I was applauding him in my heart going, good job. This is acting. This is really good. There's not 1 minute that I don't believe that he's just this hard, nasty character when he's on the screen. And it's so hard to believe because I look at him and I'm like, Justin Russo? No. This is David Henrie playing somebody in a way that it's very believable. And I buy it every second he's on the screen. And I'm applauding because I keep thinking of all these other Disney actors that start off as, these innocent, nice, happy characters, and then either they go on and do other things and they never leave that role. gosh, Jessie, that girl, she was on Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, and now she's doing Jessie. She is just reprising the same role over and over again. I would argue Selena Gomez kind of reprises the same role over and over again in everything she does. And for me, that's kind of like, well, it's cute, but then you watch these characters try to grow up and they make these questionable life choices and get involved in scandals and things. David Henrie kind of has blown that out of the water. He's not by any means a Daniel Day-Lewis, but he definitely stretched himself, grown as an actor. This is a totally different performance. Very believable, very good, very credible. And I'm just proud. Instead of going off and doing these other things to prove I'm an adult and I make my own decisions now, he just said, I'm an adult. I act like an adult and I'm going to give an adult performance. And he does. And it's great. I still want to slap him. Other than that, that kind of brought me to another thing I really appreciated about this movie. The characters are very believable and very sympathetic. The villains, I don't like any of the villains in this movie. I legitimately don't. I do feel sorry for them, though, because this movie does a very good job of giving them a backstory. It's not excusing their behavior, but like, even the bully, it'd be very easy just to say, I'm the big, bad, mean bully, and I'm going to beat you up because that's what I do. And instead, they give them just a little bit of a backstory and play that into the climax between Pepper and the bully. And it's kind of like, I see why he is that way. I still don't like him. I still want to beat the kid up, but I understand him now. And that kind of makes me want to see this writing production team do something about walking a mile in your enemy's shoes. I feel like they could do that very, very well and kind of play up the empathy, understanding others role. I really want to see them do something like that. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. They did it wonderfully in this movie. The mother is a very, I can't praise that mother enough. You see her and she's never crying. She's never upset or depressed in front of her kids. She's always kind of got a smile on her face, and she's a trooper. She's plugging along. And it's kind of like, oh, it's just going to be that happy, you think it's going to be that happy, campy, Christian, nothing ever is wrong in our town. But then there's a scene where she's like holding her husband's coat and she's crying into her husband's clothes just very softly. And her son peeps in and just watches her, and it's like, she's trying to be strong. She's trying to hold the family together, and that's why she is the way she is. And you can see in a couple of scenes where she's kind of got this tension where she just, she gets angry and then she calms down, and she's very reserved about it, which is very great period acting. This is how a woman would have been in that time frame, and this is how she's doing. This is how she's going to keep her family together. And Emily Watson plays the mother. Very excellent role, very excellent performance. I appreciate it. I love the character. So I love the characters. The storytelling was great. It's a simple story, but the characters, you're invested and you really care about them. I really appreciated the theme of faith in this movie. I expected a Kirkwood Brothers production where it's just, hammered in all the time to the point like you just want to explode. It's like, yes, I get the message. This one, they touch on it and it's very subtle, and they have other things that they touch on, and they really do a good job of leaving it up to the audience to decide what the audience wants to think about these things. Is it God? Is it science? Is it nature? Is it chance? What are you putting your faith in? Are you putting your faith in anything? It's up to you to decide. And there is no one major message just hammered home. It's just very subtly laid out. I really appreciate that, and I really, really respect that. Something else, they cover racism, they cover discrimination, they cover bullying, they cover gossip to a little extent. They touch on so many little things that there's no way you can go into this movie and not leave having a question on your mind that you're thinking about. And even if you do go in and see this and you don't have a question, you're going to be entertained. The characters are very good. The performances are good. It definitely takes twists and turns I never saw coming. I went in, I thought I knew how it was going to end. I thought I knew the journey I was going to go on. Definitely not what I expected at all. Very good surprise. Very excellent performances. Little Boy. It's in theaters right now. Go see it.